The spaceport was alive with color and sound. Giant glass walls showed ships rising into the sky like silver birds. Strange voices filled the air, clicks, growls, and musical tones from 100 alien languages. Bright lights flashed above gates where travelers hurried with bags, tickets, and glowing passes. To most people, it was just another day of travel. But to one human, it was the most important day of his life. He was simple, not rich, not powerful. His clothes were plain, his bag small, but his eyes were full of hope. He had saved money for years to buy this one ticket, a ticket for his first galactic flight. It was more than a trip. For him, it was a dream, a chance to see another world, to feel what it was like beyond Earth. He clutched the pass in his hand like it was treasure, and his heart raced as he looked at the gate sign blinking with the final call. He walked faster, almost running. He could already imagine himself on the ship, sitting near a window watching stars flow like rivers. But then, in the middle of the crowd, he noticed something unusual. An old alien was struggling with heavy bags. The alien's skin was pale and wrinkled, with long arms that shook as he tried to lift a container bigger than his own body. The alien stumbled, fell hard, and one of the bags burst open. Shining objects rolled across the floor, scattering like spilled marbles. The crowd kept moving. No one stopped. Some even looked annoyed, stepping over the alien's bag. A few laughed in low voices. The old alien tried to rise, but his arms trembled too much. His face twisted with pain, and still no one came to help. The human froze. His gate was right there, only a few steps away. He could hear the robotic voice announcing final boarding call. Gate 9 closing in 2 minutes. His heart pounded. If he stopped now, he would miss the flight he had waited for all his life. If he walked on, he would leave the alien behind like everyone else. He stood there, torn between dream and duty, between selfishness and kindness. The old alien coughed. The sound was weak, almost broken. His eyes lifted for a moment, tired but full of silent hope. The human felt a weight in his chest. Could he really ignore someone in need just to chase his own dream? His feet turned before his mind did. He knelt down and began to gather the scattered objects. They were strange, small cubes glowing with soft light. Each one felt warm in his hand. He placed them back in the alien's bag and then offered his arm. "Here, let me help you," he said softly. The alien looked at him in surprise. "You will miss your ship," the alien whispered in a rough voice. The human gave a small smile. "Then I will miss it. But you need help more than I need a seat." Together they lifted the bag. The alien leaned on him, shaking, but slowly found balance. Around them, the crowd continued, uncaring. The announcement came again, sharper this time. Gate 9 closing. All passengers must board now. The human's chest tightened. He could almost see the gate door sliding shut. He wanted to run, but his arm was under the alien's and he couldn't leave now. Step by step, he walked the old alien toward a resting pod near the wall. Behind him, he heard the heavy click of the gate ceiling. His ticket, his dream, his years of waiting, all gone in that moment. His stomach sank and his hands shook, but when he looked at the alien's tired face, he forced a calm breath. The alien sat down slowly, breathing hard. "Thank you," he said in a voice that carried both weakness and dignity. Not many stop for an old one anymore. "You are different," the human said nothing. He only looked at his past, now useless, and felt the sting of loss. He had missed it. The flight was gone. The dream was gone. But in the back of his mind, another thought began to rise, soft and uncertain. Maybe this choice meant something. Maybe missing that flight was not the end, but the start of something else. Yet he did not know. All he felt was the hollow silence of the sealed gate and the strange weight of the alien's gaze. And so, in a spaceport full of noise, the human sat with a stranger, unaware that this small act of kindness had already changed his destiny. The human sat beside the old alien in the quiet corner of the spaceport. Around them, the world moved on. Passengers rushing to gates, announcements echoing, laughter rising from alien groups. But for the human, everything felt heavy and still. His dream flight had left without him. He held the useless pass in his hand and stared at it with hollow eyes. The old alien leaned back against the pod seat, breathing in slow, shallow breaths. His skin glimmered faintly under the lights like faded silver. His long fingers trembled as he pulled the bag closer to his chest. For a moment, the human thought the alien might fall asleep, but then the old one spoke. "You chose to stop," the alien said softly, his voice carrying a strange rhythm, almost like music played too slow. Why? The human looked down. The question was simple, but the answer was not. Because you needed help, he said finally. I could not walk away. The alien's lips curled into something between a smile and a frown. His dark eyes searched the human's face as though looking past skin and bone into something deeper. Many saw me fall, he said. They kept walking, but you risked your dream for me. That is rare. The human shrugged, though his chest felt tight. Maybe rare, but right, the alien laughed softly. It was not a laugh of joy, it was tired, broken, but real. Right, yes, but in this galaxy, the right choice is often the hardest. You may learn that soon. The human frowned. What do you mean? The alien did not answer. Instead, he opened his bag slowly, pulling out one of the glowing cubes. It pulsed with faint light as if alive. Do you know what this is? The human shook his head. The alien's eyes glimmered. Not many do. These are old. Older than your world, perhaps. To most, they are junk. To the few who understand, they are priceless. Yet even with them in my hands, I could not lift them when I fell. Age has made me weak. The human leaned forward. Why do you carry them yourself? Surely someone could help you. The alien chuckled again, low and quiet. Trust is expensive, young one. These days no one carries weight without asking for reward. But you helped without question. The human did not know what to say. He only sat in silence, feeling a strange pull toward this old traveler. Across the hall, a group of younger aliens glanced their way, whispering. Their eyes were sharp, almost mocking. One of them, tall with blue scales, spoke loudly enough for the human to hear. Look at that earthling. Lost his ship for some useless elder. Soft-hearted fool. The group laughed. The human's cheeks grew hot, but he kept quiet. He had faced such mockery before. Humans were often seen as weak, simple, too emotional compared to other species. But he noticed something strange. The old alien's eyes hardened for a second. The mocking aliens suddenly lowered their heads, avoiding his gaze as if they had gone too far. Then the old one relaxed again and the moment passed. The human blinked. That reaction was odd. Why would strangers fear the gaze of a weak elder? Before he could think more, the alien touched his arm gently. Do not mind them. They speak words without meaning. Their hearts are still small. The human nodded. Still, unease grew inside him. Who exactly was this alien? The alien asked again, his tone softer this time. Tell me, young human, what did you hope for on that flight? The human sighed. I wanted to see another world. I wanted to look at the stars not as a visitor, but as a traveler. I saved every coin for years. That ticket was my dream. His voice cracked a little. Now it's gone. The alien studied him silently. Then he leaned closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. Dreams do not vanish. Sometimes when one path closes, another opens. Often the second path is greater than the first. But it demands patience, and the human frowned. The words sounded wise, but they only added to his confusion. Still, something about the alien's tone felt steady, like a river beneath storm winds. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the spaceport. All screens flashed red for a moment. A robotic voice announced, Emergency notice, Flight 7 to Icaron 5 has encountered severe malfunction. All relatives of passengers, please report to station control. The human froze. That was the very flight he had missed. Gasps rose in the hall. Whispers spread like wildfire. Malfunction, casualties, ship lost in orbit. His heart thudded hard. If he had boarded, he would have been there, trapped in the burning wreck of that ship. His skin went cold. Slowly, he turned to the old alien, but the alien's face showed no surprise. Only calm, quiet eyes that seemed to already know. The human's breath caught. Did you know this would happen? The alien looked at him for a long time and then, instead of answering, gave a thin smile. Sometimes missing a flight is not a loss. Sometimes it is a gift. The human felt a shiver run down his spine. He wanted to ask more, but the alien leaned back, closing his eyes as if to rest. And in that moment, the human realized something he could not explain. This was no ordinary meeting. This was the beginning of something far bigger than a missed ship. The spaceport was buzzing with nervous voices. After the red warning flashed on every screen, crowds gathered near the news terminals waiting for updates. Some wept loudly. Others clutched their hands together in silent fear. Every word from the robotic announcer echoed like thunder. Flight 7 to Icaron 5 suffered critical malfunction. Communication lost. Search teams dispatched. The human stood frozen. His hands trembled as he stared at the giant screen above. Flight 7, that was his flight. The same flight he had dreamed about for years. The same flight he had missed only because he stopped to help an old alien. He could hardly breathe. His dream had vanished, but so had the lives of everyone on that ship. His chest tightened as a wave of realization hit him. If I had boarded, I would be gone too. His mind replayed the moment when the gate door sealed in front of him, the sting of loss, the bitter taste of failure. Now that memory twisted into something else. His missed chance had become his survival. He looked at his ticket again, the glowing pass now meaningless yet strangely heavy. Beside him, the old alien sat calm and still, as if the announcement did not touch him at all. His dark eyes remained half-closed, watching the crowd with quiet patience. The human turned to him, voice low and unsteady. They're gone. Everyone on that flight is gone. The alien gave the faintest nod. Yes, the human swallowed hard. If I had boarded, I would have been... His voice broke. Why? Why did this happen? The alien studied him in silence. Then, in a tone both soft and sharp, he said, Perhaps you were not meant to leave on that ship. Perhaps you were meant to be here. The words felt like a riddle, but they burned inside the human's mind. Meant to be here? I missed everything I planned for. My dream, my years of saving, my hope, all wasted. And now you tell me it was meant to be? His voice rose, filled with frustration. Some travelers turned to stare, but the alien remained calm. Do you believe life is only about reaching one ship? One world? One dream? The human frowned, confused and angry. What else is there? The alien leaned forward slightly, his eyes glimmering with strange depth. There is always more. Sometimes when one door closes, it is because another, greater door waits, but only the patient can see it. The human looked away, heart heavy. He wanted to believe those words, but pain pressed on him too deeply. He had waited years for that chance. Now nothing remained. As silence stretched, 2 guards in silver uniforms passed by, speaking in urgent tones. No survivors confirmed yet. Investigation points to sabotage. Someone wanted Flight 7 destroyed. The word struck the human like a stone. Sabotage? He whispered. The alien's gaze sharpened. So not an accident after all. The human's mind raced. If the flight was attacked, then he had escaped death by pure chance. Or by fate. He turned to the alien again, eyes wide. Did you know? Did you expect this? The alien did not answer at first. Then he spoke slowly, carefully. I felt the air today was heavy with danger. That is why I carried my bags myself, why I walked with the crowd. A storm was near, but I did not know where the lightning would strike. The human shivered. The alien's words made no sense, yet they carried weight, as if he truly walked with knowledge others did not have. The human sat down again, his voice breaking into a whisper. So I am alive because I helped you. The alien smiled faintly, a tired but knowing smile. Perhaps you helped me because you were meant to live. The human felt his breath catch, the words twisted in his chest, both terrifying and comforting. He did not know which to believe, but he knew one thing. His life had changed forever. Suddenly, the crowd grew restless again. New information flashed across the screens. Passenger list of Flight 7 released. Families to be contacted. Cause under investigation. The human stared at the scrolling names. He did not recognize them, yet his heart ached for each one. He thought of their dreams, their excitement, their goodbyes at the gate. All gone in silence, he whispered almost to himself, Why me? Why was I spared? The alien opened his eyes wider now, looking at him with unusual intensity. Do not ask why. Ask what you will do with the time given. The human's chest tightened. He had no answer. The alien leaned back again as if the conversation had ended. But the human's mind would not rest. He looked at the old one with new suspicion. This stranger was not normal. His calmness, his strange wisdom, his powerful presence, it all felt like a puzzle waiting to be solved. And though the human had lost his flight, he felt a strange pull inside. Maybe this meeting was no accident. Maybe the true journey had just begun, not among the stars yet, but here, with this mysterious alien who seemed to know more than he should. He sat in silence, watching the old alien breathe slowly, guarding his strange glowing cubes. Around them, the spaceport swirled with noise and grief, but in their corner, time felt different. The human realized something he had never thought before. Missing the flight did not end his story. It had only opened a new one, and that thought, though frightening, lit a small fire in his heart. The human sat quietly beside the old alien as the noise of the spaceport washed around them like waves. The air was thick with worry, grief, and endless whispers about the destroyed flight, but the human's eyes stayed on the elder. Something about him did not fit. He looked weak, his hands trembled, his back was bent, yet when he spoke, his words carried weight. The human's thoughts spun. Who was this old one, really? Why had others lowered their eyes in fear when he looked at them? And why did he sit so calm when the galaxy seemed to shake with the news of the lost ship? After a long silence, the alien opened his eyes again. They were dark but deep, like wells hiding endless secrets. He spoke softly, yet the human felt the sound vibrate inside his chest. You wonder who I am? The human nodded slowly. Yes, you don't seem ordinary. The alien gave a small laugh, though it sounded tired. Ordinary is a costume I wear well, but it slips when I am not careful. He leaned forward and took out another glowing cube from his bag. It pulsed with gentle light, brighter than before. The human stared, his breath caught. What are these really? He asked. The alien turned the cube in his palm. They are memory stones. Each one holds knowledge, laws, and promises written before your world was born. Few can read them. Fewer still can carry them. His voice grew softer, and even fewer should trust them in the hands of strangers. The human's brow furrowed. So why let me see them? The alien studied him as if weighing his soul. Because you already proved your heart values kindness more than gain. That is the only shield that protects knowledge like this. The human felt heat rise to his face. He had no idea how to answer. Then, without warning, a shadow fell over them. 3 uniformed officers approached, tall and armored. Their badges glowed with sharp symbols, and their voices were hard. You there? One barked at the alien. You shouldn't be out here. You know the rules. Travel in your state is not permitted without escort. The human blinked, confused. Escort? What rules? He glanced at the old alien, expecting him to shrink back. But instead, the elder straightened slowly, and in that instant his posture seemed to change. His back, still bent now, carried a strange dignity. His trembling hand rose, holding the cube with steady fingers. The officers froze. Their confident expressions faltered. One of them swallowed hard and stepped back. The other 2 quickly lowered their heads, bowing slightly. The human's eyes widened. Why are they afraid? The alien spoke, voice calm but firm. Leave us. I will not be disturbed. The officers nodded at once, their sharp tone gone. Without another word, they turned and walked away quickly as if eager to escape. The human sat frozen, his heart pounding. He turned to the alien, words stumbling. Who are you? Why did they bow to you? The alien placed the cube back into his bag, closing it gently. His face softened again, but his eyes still carried that deep light. Power is a strange thing, young human. The wise hide it, the foolish display it, but sometimes hiding is the only way to move freely. The human leaned closer, whispering, So you have power? The alien's lips curved in a faint smile, enough to frighten those who would command others, enough to be a target for those who envy, but not enough to escape age. He touched his chest and coughed softly, the weakness returning like a cloak. The human's mind spun. He had helped this alien thinking he was just an old traveler. Now he realized the truth was much deeper. This elder carried knowledge, power, and a presence that even guards respected. He asked carefully, Why pretend to be weak? Why not tell everyone who you are? The alien shook his head slowly. Because pride attracts knives. When one owns much, enemies multiply. A cloak of weakness keeps hunters blind. The human felt a shiver down his spine. Owns much? The words echoed in his mind, but he dared not ask more. For a while, neither spoke. The spaceport's noise filled the gap. Families crying, officers shouting orders, machines buzzing. But in their quiet corner, it felt like a bubble apart from the world. At last, the alien turned to him again. You see now why your choice mattered. Not because you saved me from falling, but because you showed me something I rarely see in this galaxy. Kindness without cost. The human looked at him with a mix of fear and respect. But I don't understand. Why me? I'm nobody special. The alien's gaze grew sharper. Perhaps, or perhaps you are exactly who you need to be. The human's heart pounded. He didn't know whether to feel honored or afraid. The old alien leaned back once more, closing his eyes. His voice was soft, almost like a whisper fading into the crowd. In time, you will understand. For now, sit. Rest. The stars are moving, and soon your path will change again. The human stared at him, unable to speak. Around them, the world bustled on, but he felt as if he was standing at the edge of something vast and hidden. The truth of the alien's power was only beginning to show, and deep inside, the human knew. This was no ordinary meeting. This was the opening of a door he did not yet see, but could already feel. The human hardly slept that night in the corner pod of the spaceport. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the red flashing words about Flight 7's destruction. He heard the mocking voices of strangers calling him a fool for missing it. But stronger than all that was the image of the old alien, fragile one moment commanding the next. Morning light filtered through the vast glass ceiling of the terminal. Ships rose silently into the sky, glowing trails behind them. Travelers filled the halls again, rushing toward gates. But the human sat quietly watching the elder across from him. The old alien seemed calmer, almost restored. His back was still bent, yet his presence filled the space like an unseen fire. He sipped a strange drink from a crystal flask, and his dark eyes reflected the sunlight like mirrors. The human finally spoke, voice low but firm. "Yesterday you said you wear weakness like a cloak. You frighten guards with only your gaze. You carry memory stones older than Earth, and still you sit here like a poor traveler. Who are you, really?" The alien placed the flask down gently. He studied the human for a long moment before answering. "You want the truth." "Yes," the human said quickly. "I deserve it. I lost everything when I missed that flight. My dream is gone. At least give me the truth." The alien nodded slowly as though deciding it was time. He straightened a little, his voice carrying more strength than before. "Then listen well. I am not only an old traveler. I am the hand that owns the sky you wish to ride. The ships, the gates, the very airline you dreamed of, these are mine." The human blinked, stunned. "Yours? You mean you own the airline?" The alien's lips curved into a faint smile. "Yes, every ship that lifts from this port, every route across the stars, every flight ticket purchased, all belong in the end to me." The human's breath caught. His heart hammered. He thought of the passengers who mocked him, the officers who bowed, the guards who feared the alien's gaze. Suddenly it all made sense. This was no fragile elder. This was the master of the galaxy's most powerful travel network. His voice trembled. You could buy anything, go anywhere. Why would you walk alone, carrying your own bags like a beggar?" The alien's eyes narrowed, not in anger but in thought. "Because power blinds more than it frees. When I move as a ruler, I see only faces of fear and greed. But when I walk as a weak old one, I see the truth of hearts. I see who will step aside and who will stop." He leaned closer. "You stopped. That is why we are speaking now." The human felt his throat tighten. He remembered the laughter of those who called him a fool. Now he realized, by helping the old alien, he had helped the very owner of the stars. The alien's voice grew heavier, sharper. "Do you know what most beings want from me? They want profit, position, or favor. Not one soul in 1,000 offers help without a price. But you gave kindness freely. That is a power far greater than money." The human lowered his head, feeling both honored and overwhelmed. "I didn't do it for power, I just couldn't walk away." "And that," the alien said, "is why you are different." Silence hung between them, broken only by the distant hum of departing ships. The human finally asked, almost in a whisper, "What do you want from me now?" The alien leaned back, his gaze never leaving the human's face. "What I want is simple. I want to see if your heart remains the same when the weight of the galaxy is placed upon it. I want to test whether kindness can survive power." The human's eyes widened. "The weight of the galaxy? I don't understand." "You will," the alien replied softly. At that moment, a group of officials entered the hall. They wore robes of silver and gold, their symbols glowing like stars. Travelers moved aside quickly, bowing as the officials approached. One of them spotted the elder and his face turned pale. He dropped to one knee at once, voice shaking. "Master, forgive me. We did not know you were here." Gasps spread through the crowd. Whispers echoed, "The master? The owner? It's him?" The human felt his stomach twist. Everyone in the spaceport was now staring at them. The alien remained calm, his weak cloak now falling completely away. In that moment, he looked like something more than a man. He looked like a figure carved from history, someone whose presence bent the air itself. The elder raised a hand lightly, and the officials bowed lower, silent in fear. Then he turned to the human. His voice was gentle, yet it carried across the hall. This is the one who stopped. This is the one who chose kindness above all. Remember his face? The human froze, his cheeks burning as hundreds of eyes fell upon him. He had never felt smaller, yet never more important. The alien leaned closer, his words only for the human now. The truth is revealed. I am the master of this airline, yes. But more than that, I am the keeper of its future. And now perhaps so are you? The human swallowed hard, his heart racing with both fear and awe. He had missed his flight, but found something far greater. Something that might change not only his life, but the destiny of countless others. The hall was still buzzing with whispers long after the officials bowed and left. Every traveler who had laughed at the human now looked at him differently. Some stared in awe, some in confusion, and others in envy. But the human himself felt only one thing: fear. He had come to this spaceport as nobody, just a man with a dream. Now he sat beside the owner of the skies, the master of the airline, the hidden power behind the galaxy's travel routes. And worse, that powerful figure had pointed at him in front of everyone and declared him the one who chose kindness. The human wanted to shrink into the shadows, but the elder's gaze held him firmly in place. Do not fear the eyes of the crowd, the alien said softly, almost kindly. Their stares are dust. What matters now is what you choose to do. The human swallowed. I don't understand. I'm just a man who missed a flight. The alien leaned closer, his voice low but heavy, like thunder hidden in clouds. You are more than that. You made a choice when no one else would, and now I will see if that choice was not luck but truth. The human frowned nervously. See how? The alien's eyes glowed faintly. Through a test. The human's stomach twisted. A test? Yes. The alien's tone grew firmer. Every empire, every power is shaped not by laws but by hearts. Most fail when given even a drop of power. They grow greedy, cruel, selfish. I need to know if your kindness can survive when you are offered more than you ever dreamed. The human shook his head. But I don't want power. I don't want tests. I only wanted to travel. The alien gave a faint smile. And yet fate chose you for more. Refuse if you wish, but remember this. Your flight was lost, but your life was spared. That means you're already in the test, whether you wish it or not. The human's breath caught. His mind spun. He wanted to walk away, to hide, to return to being a simple traveler. But deep inside, something told him there was no going back. The elder stood slowly, his frail body seeming taller than before. He raised a trembling hand, and a servant rushed over instantly, bowing low. Prepare the chamber, the alien ordered. The servant nodded and hurried away. The human frowned. What chamber? The alien's dark eyes locked onto him. The chamber where you will face yourself. Minutes later, they entered a hidden section of the spaceport. Unlike the bright halls of glass and light, this place was dark and quiet. The walls were smooth metal, glowing faintly with blue veins of energy. Guards lined the passage, but each bowed deeply as the elder passed. The human followed nervously, his hands sweating. His heart pounded with each step. Finally, they reached a massive door. It slid open without sound, revealing a wide chamber filled with strange lights and hovering spheres. In the center stood a tall crystal pillar, glowing with soft golden light. The alien gestured for the human to step forward. This is the chamber of choice. Few are brought here. Fewer still leave unchanged. The human's voice shook. What am I supposed to do? The alien walked slowly around the pillar, his voice echoing. You will be shown offers. Wealth beyond measure, power to command others, knowledge that can bend time, and freedom to walk any world. You may take them. Many would. But I want to see if you can hold your heart steady when temptation burns before you. The human's chest tightened. And if I fail? The alien's gaze sharpened. Then you are no different from the others, and you will leave with nothing but regret. The human felt his throat go dry. He wanted to run, but the chamber seemed to close around him. The glowing pillar pulsed, and suddenly, visions filled the air. He saw himself seated on a throne of stars, countless beings bowing before him. He saw mountains of wealth, jewels, credits, treasures that could buy entire worlds. He saw doors opening to strange planets where he walked freely as an honored guest. Each vision pulled at him, tempting, dazzling. His heart raced. He had never wanted power, but now that it shimmered before his eyes, something inside whispered, "Why not? Why shouldn't you take it?" The elder's voice cut through the visions like a blade. Remember who you are. Remember why you missed your flight. This is not about dreams. It is about choice. The human clenched his fists. He remembered the moment. The old alien on the ground, the crowd ignoring him, the gate closing. He remembered why he stopped. Not for reward, not for power, but because it was right. He closed his eyes, forcing the visions away. His voice shook but stayed firm. I don't want thrones. I don't want riches. I don't want to rule. I just want to keep my heart. The same as it was when I chose to help. The visions flickered, then vanished into smoke. The golden pillar dimmed, then glowed brighter than before. The elder stepped forward, his frail body shaking but his eyes glowing with pride. You have spoken truth. You have passed the first part of the test. The human sagged with relief, though fear still lingered. First part? How many parts are there? The alien gave a thin smile. As many as it takes to know your soul. The human's heart thudded harder. He had survived the visions, but deep down he knew the real test had only begun. The chamber of choice slowly dimmed until the golden light was gone. The human stood trembling, his breath heavy, his heart pounding. Sweat clung to his face, yet his eyes held a strange calm. He had resisted wealth, power, and false glory. He had chosen to remain himself. The old alien walked forward slowly, his bent frame glowing faintly in the lingering light. His dark eyes studied the human, and for the first time a full smile crossed his face. It was not mocking, not tired, it was proud. You have done what many could not, the elder said. His voice, though soft, filled the chamber like music. When offered the galaxy, you chose your heart. That is strength. The human exhaled, half in relief, half in confusion. I don't feel strong. I only feel lost. My flight is gone. My dream is gone, and I don't know what happens next. The alien tilted his head as though measuring him again. Then he spoke words that sent a chill down the human's spine. Your old dream is gone because a greater journey waits for you. The human frowned. Greater? I only wanted to see the stars. The alien's smile deepened. Then you shall. Not as a passenger, but as something more. He lifted his hand. At once the golden pillar released a stream of light that formed into a small shimmering pass. It floated toward the human, glowing brighter than any ticket he had ever seen. The human reached out and caught it. It felt warm in his palm, almost alive. Symbols danced across its surface, shifting between languages until they formed words he could understand. Galactic Master Pass. Bearer holds authority of all skies. The human's breath caught. What is this? The elder's voice lowered, heavy with meaning. It is a key. With it, no gate will close to you. No world will deny you. You will travel not as one who buys passage, but as one who shapes it. This is more than a ticket, it is a bond. Few have held it, none without proving their heart first. The human stared at the glowing pass, disbelief flooding him. Why give this to me? I'm nobody. The alien stepped closer. You are not nobody. You are the one who stopped when no one else would. You are the one who faced temptation and kept your soul. That is what the skies need. Not more rulers, not more merchants, but a guardian of kindness. The human felt his throat tighten. He wanted to speak, but no words came. The elder placed a trembling hand on his shoulder. I am old. My time fades. Soon I will leave these stars behind. But before I go, I must know that the skies are in safe hands. You will be one of those hands. The human's heart pounded. He had never imagined such a destiny. He was just a simple man who wanted to travel, and now the galaxy itself seemed to open before him. Still, fear rose in him. What if I fail? What if I'm not strong enough? The alien's eyes softened. Failure comes only when one forgets who they are. Remember the moment you missed your flight. Remember why. As long as you carry that in your heart, you will never fail. The human held the glowing pass tighter. Slowly, his fear eased, replaced by a fire he had never felt before. It was not pride, not hunger for power, it was purpose. The chamber doors slid open and the noise of the spaceport returned. Travelers rushed, officials barked orders, ships launched. Yet when the human stepped out, it all looked different. For the first time, he did not feel like one among many. He felt like he was walking on a path that only he could walk. As they moved through the crowd, whispers followed him. Some pointed, some bowed, some looked at him with envy, but the elder ignored them, and soon the human did too. Their eyes did not matter. What mattered was the journey ahead. Near the gates, a sleek silver ship waited, its surface shining like liquid light. The alien gestured toward it. This ship is yours now. It will take you where you wish, guided by the pass you hold. You may travel as a guest, a guardian, or even a teacher. The choice will be yours. The human froze. Mine, a whole ship? The alien nodded. A single ship can change many lives. Use it well. The human stepped slowly toward the vessel, his reflection bending across its surface. His hands shook as he touched the hull, but instead of fear, he felt wonder. This was no longer about reaching one planet. This was about carrying the lesson of one simple choice across countless stars. He turned back to the elder. The alien's body looked weaker now, his energy dimming, yet his eyes still burned with that deep light. "Thank you," the human whispered. The alien gave a final smile. "No, thank you, for reminding me that kindness still breathes in this galaxy." And with that, the elder turned away, disappearing slowly into the crowd. As if the spaceport itself swallowed him, the human stood alone, holding the pass, facing the ship that waited for him. His heart pounded with fear, hope, and something new. Responsibility. He had missed his flight, yes. But in missing it, he had found a destiny greater than he ever dreamed. He stepped aboard the ship. The engines hummed, the controls lit up, and the stars beyond the glass seemed to call his name. The journey he thought he lost had only just begun.